Welcome into our next leg of our race around the world here at Pitstop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver
Oliver, why'd you emphasize the R?
because I
Only
felt
the
like
R
it.
there. I'm Bruce Heller.
Maybe I thought you'd go Bruce Heller.
No, I went with a different punctuation mark. I went with an ellipses that time instead of putting a random question mark in there.
What's an ellipses?
It's the three dots. When you
Three
put like
dots.
dot, 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 like at the end of a sentence or something, that's called an ellipses.
What?
Yeah,
This feels like you're making it up. That's all I'm saying.
I remember hearing it in school, but I said dot 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 one time my final semester of college, and my friend Carter, who I'm pretty sure most of his existence is just heckling me, goes, "It's called an ellipses, you imbecile." So I remember it because of that. I don't know if it was
I've
imbecile, but he heckled me for it.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, on Google, an ellipses is a punctuation mark consisting of three dots used to indicate omitted words, paused speech, or trailing thoughts.
I mean, I use the dot 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 all the time.
Yeah, it has a name. Not
Well,
many
I'm still
people
gonna
know that.
call it dot dot dot.
But I used a different punctuation mark instead of the random question mark. So I'm growing.
Where did you use the dot dot dot? I didn't hear it.
After I said I'm and then paused for a while and said Bruce Heller.
Oh, I missed that.
I'm growing more mature.
If you say so.
I need it.
All right, so this is our rewatch episode, season 16, episode 10. I feel like I'm in like Sicily.
Hmm.
Who said that, Bruce? You have a 1 in 8 chance to get this right.
Boy Jordan.
No, it was Brent.
Oh, well, I was close. It was a guy.
Well, that you had a 7-8 chance of it being a guy.
Yeah, so I was close.
No. Yeah. All right. Do you have any quotes from this episode
Yes. If he jumped out of your trash can, it would scare you to death.
about He PingPing?
I think so. I watched this episode over a week ago,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. That's my fault, guys. We're a week behind because I went on vacation.
oh, it's fine. I don't mind. I have, can I take him home with me?
Also, He PingPing.
Yeah. I don't know where he does his shopping, but he wears a small.
Also, He PingPing.
Mm-hmm.
I had all of those as well.
And I've heard Shanghai is the fashion capital of the world. Someone said that, and I just out loud, I'm like, who have you heard that from? Because I thought it was like Paris or something. I've never heard anyone say that about Shanghai. So
Not,
that may be me being stupid. I don't know, but I wrote that down because it sounded ridiculous.
oh, and I think it is ridiculous unless your closet is full of Komodos.
Komodo is a dragon. Kimono is
Come
the
on
rope
now.
looking thing.
Close enough.
Man, no, those are not the same thing. One's a really cool giant lizard. You can't wear those.
Right, but I knew that Komodo was a dragon, but there are things that have like the same word or multiple things.
I
So
don't know if it's there yet, but if it's not there yet, the St. Louis Zoo has a Komodo dragon coming. They've been working on like building the habitat for it for a while. So I'm
nice.
excited about that. Komodo
All right,
dragons are awesome.
my quotes. I have several. Um, I hate you just as much now as before the race. That was Dan. Tranquil, what is that?
You don't get much of that in this game.
from Cord. Yeah. It's like speaking to Martians from Mike. Mike also said on the plane, the people said 1/3 of them speak English. We met the other 2/3, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then here's the stuff that you had. If he jumped out of your trash can, it'd scare you to death. I don't know where he does his shopping, but he wears a small. Those were both from Jet. Brent yells at Katie, I can't marry you unless you can cook, baby.
That's aged well in 2026.
And then he later said, I will never ask her to make spaghetti.
Fair. Lasagna's better anyway.
No, it's not.
I
Spaghetti is better. He just
no.
won't have her make it. He'll make it.
I like lasagna better. It just seems harder to make, so I haven't made it.
I mean, it is harder to make than spaghetti, which most things are
Spaghetti's
harder to
just
make
so
than spaghetti.
basic. Like that's what everyone eats. Like that's the pasta like you eat since you're a little kid. Like have a little variety. Lasagna is a different shape at least.
Oh,
It's
I'm not saying don't eat
similar, but
lasagna. I mean, I'm a pasta lover. I eat all of them.
I honestly like white sauce better than red sauce. But like I go hard for lasagna.
Yeah, fettuccine alfredo is my favorite. Well, unless you count mac and cheese as pasta, which technically it is.
Mhm.
I mean, macaroni is pasta.
I know. I don't think the Italians would count covering pasta in cheese sauce as pasta,
Is
but
that not what Alfredo is?
I don't know.
Covering
It just
pasta and cheese sauce?
I'm imagining those like guys on the Facebook reels that are Italian and like judge when people make pasta. I don't feel like they'd count mac and cheese.
They might not. That's why I
It's
made that as
American pasta. I don't think the Italians would count it.
well, that's
But
fine.
we're
I'm
not
not Italian.
Italian, so who cares?
Exactly. But really, fettuccine alfredo is also just pasta covered in cheese sauce.
Fair enough.
And I know that they do make fettuccine alfredo in Italy.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to taste better than ours, but that's a different story. All of it would. But I like all pasta, spaghetti, fettuccine.
You don't like Kraft mac and cheese.
I don't. I'm very picky about my mac and cheese,
You just said you like all pasta and then admitted you don't like all mac and cheeses. And if mac and cheese is pasta, then you don't like all pastas.
but I like mac and cheese.
You like all types of pasta, not all pastas.
Right. Yes, that's assumed because if somebody makes a shitty sauce, I'm not going to like their spaghetti.
Fair enough. You're just fun to nitpick.
Yeah, okay. Manicotti, that's good.
Yeah, I made that when I was in eighth grade one time.
Nice. I made it like a year ago. Um, so apparently smoking will stunt your growth. Also a Jet quote. Because He PingPing was smoking a cig that was like bigger than his hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't let the clothes fool you. We are in the fashion world, let me tell you. That was Cord. I'm gonna punch him right in the head when he's done. That was Mike. Um, being the gay male he is, he was in heaven, is what Mike said about Jordan at the fashion challenge. Mike had a lot of quotes this time. We had a rodeo in Argentina. Can we get some shooting, door kicking, chase a crackhead, something? Uh, then we have Cord is saying, we've won 3 trips around the world and we both say we ain't going with each other. We're going with somebody else.
hmm
And these last two are from Phil. I'm sorry to tell you that you were out in the cold. And
Fake this out again on the NEL.
I really expected this
That's
one.
twice that I thought he was eliminating someone and then he pulled a fake out.
I really was confident this was an NEL.
Oh,
But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Well,
Um,
you think ahead about like episode numbers and stuff way more than me. I'm just watching in the moment, and
I
then this
do,
fills your out. I'm like, oh no, they're gone. And then he pulls a fake out. I'm like, oh no, they're not gone.
but it's more than just episode count. I'll explain when we get there.
Yeah,
And then the final one, Louis, don't make me eliminate you.
yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the episode. We are flying to Shanghai, more than 2,300 miles, and when we get there, we have to take a taxi to the village of Zazai Zazai Joe or something similar.
Zhuji Zhao, I think. I don't know. I have it written out, but I don't remember how to pronounce it.
Yes, I also have it written out. It is known as the Venice of China, not the Sicily. So somebody should let Brent know that. Are you okay? Are you having a heart attack?
No, I've just had this kind of weird nagging cough thing for like a week now. I'm not sick or anything. I think I'm just congested.
Mm, that time of year,
Yeah, it sucks. I'm buying Robitussin at Walmart this afternoon. That was not a
and
paid ad. They don't sponsor us.
nobody sponsors us.
No, but PepsiCo should.
But if Robitussin wants to, we'll take the money.
I was about to sing Robitussin in the Ricola jingle. Then I realized that's Ricola. That's a whole other medicine.
Yeah, and Ricola is just what, cough drops?
Something like that.
They have
Ricola got
really
a reference on Survivor this week. That's why that's on my mind, I think.
they have really good uh
Ricola.
well, they have really good wild berry cough drops. Best
I
cough
just buy
drops.
the cherry flavored store brand cough drops. I don't.
I used to suck on Luden's cherry cough drops like they were candy.
I will say the honey flavored cough drops are gross.
No, they're not.
I'm not a.
Honey herb Ricola is decent.
I think I had the Halls ones, just the
Oh,
gold.
I hate every Hall's cough drop.
The cherry ones are fine, but
No.
that's kind of what cough drops taste like to me. Is I just always get the cherry flavor.
Well, you need to get, have you ever had Luden's cherry?
No, I have a giant bag at my house right now that's Walgreens brand cherry flavored because there's like a million of them for like $7.
You need to buy some Luden's cherry cough drops and your life will be changed.
But Walgreens brand.
Yes, but these taste a million times better.
Fair enough. Shout out to Walgreens. You should also sponsor us and give us
And Luden's. Okay,
and Mountain Dew.
no, we don't need PepsiCo. But anyway, once they arrive in the Venice of China, Zarlur, they will take a boat to their next clue. Um, and then while they're waiting in the airport, we get confessionals from all of them. We have Katie being excited about being the last girl left,
Yes.
which what in the 2010 is this? Being excited about being the last girl? She's obviously not a feminist.
Darn.
Uh, Jet, we find out Jet left his 17-month-old child at home, and Cord just got engaged.
That is quite the combination. Brand new fiance left at home to come do this, and brand new baby left at home to come do this.
Yeah. We see Michael and Louis feeling underestimated, which I don't know how you can feel underestimated after winning multiple legs of the Amazing Race.
You've won 3 times. How do you feel underestimated?
Because they're old. That's what their whole thing was. Everybody always underestimates the old guys.
Well, kind of fair.
And then we have Dan and Jordan giving us their thoughts on the U-turn last leg and how they believe that it was a mistake that Brent and Katie U-turned Carol and Brandy. That they should have U-turned the Cowboys for gameplay reasons, and that poor decision we're all gonna look back on, and it will haunt us.
You know, they might have a point, but I don't care. It's the same thing as the 38 one, wasn't, or whatever the last season was. Was it emotional? Yes. Would I have done the same thing? Yes.
Yeah,
Like
fair enough.
Jag and Jazz U-turning Izzy and Paige. Was it a smart game decision? No. Are you U-turning a team that you don't like and you know doesn't like you? Yes. I do the same thing in both cases. This this one's actually more understandable because they had a reason to not like Carol and Brandy.
Absolutely. I don't blame him at all.
So yeah.
All right, so once we get to Shanghai, we're getting in our taxis, and for once, Jet and Court aren't the last taxi to leave. It's incredible.
Wow.
And we see actually taxi woes coming in the form of both Dana Jordan and Michael and Louie, whose taxi drivers are complete imbeciles and don't understand how to go to Zazu. Um,
Those
and
are
it
two
doesn't
guests
help.
we're never getting on the show now that Kevin called them complete imbeciles.
Why would Kevin calling taxi drivers from Shanghai complete imbeciles stop us from being cast on The Amazing Race?
No, I meant we're not getting those cab drivers as guests on the show now. They'll be upset that you called them imbeciles.
I thought you said I'm sorry, I misheard you. I thought you said now we're not getting cast on the
No,
show.
I said those are two guests we're not getting on the show.
Uh, I'm
Not
okay
that
with
we
that.
ever were anyway, but
Well, it wouldn't be a very entertaining episode considering what I'm about to say was that Michael and Louis' cab driver does not speak a lick of English.
yeah, we're gonna need Google Translate to interview them. Much
Yes.
like we were using Google Translate when we hung out at New Year's Eve, just like use the little
Even though all
speaker.
three of us speak English that were at New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And Jet and Cord, they actually had a good taxi driver because Cord left his bag in the cab. And I made the comment, hopefully this taxi driver does not drive off because that would be bad.
Yeah.
And once you get your clue on the boat, it is roadblock time. Do you want to explain roadblock make noodles?
Yeah, you're making an omelet of Lamian noodles, which I remember even from over a week ago having to type that 3 times because autocorrect kept wanting to make it ramen noodles, but they're
Why'd
Lamian
you say an
noodles.
omelet?
That's what I have written down.
They were not making an omelet.
I got autocorrected then. What was it?
They were literally just making Chinese noodles. Like they had a whole big pile of
They're
Chinese
making
noodles.
Lamian noodles.
Lamian?
I
How
have
do you
some more
spell
there.
lamian?
What?
How do you spell lamian?
What I have written down is Lamian, but I definitely remember it kept wanting to correct that to ramen noodles.
Huh.
And we're doing this to get the clue from the world's shortest man in the world. That's what I wrote down. That seems
Yes.
a bit redundant.
He ping.
Yes,
And this dude's wild. Anyway,
I did spell
um,
Lamian correctly. Cool.
I just didn't know. I never heard him say that word, so I was just curious.
Yeah. I don't know where omelet came from though.
I have no idea where your omelet came from. There's no noodles in omelets anyway.
Well, not in American omelets. I don't know how Chinese omelets work.
That's
Maybe they
true.
make it differently.
That's true. Maybe they put their omelet in between a slice of bread.
That wasn't terrible, actually.
That looked dreadful.
The
And
flavors didn't combine. I was tasting the ice cream and the bread separate. Like
I
they,
feel like that texturally that would be terrible.
eh. I'm not a huge like texture person. My mom is. My mom doesn't do like pudding or jello or any of that, like or like gummy stuff because she doesn't like the texture or feel of it. I don't care. I'll eat
I
anything
mean, my
that tastes
my
good.
really only texture problem comes with mashed potatoes.
Those are so good though, especially with gravy on them. Brown
It's the one
gravy's
kind of
awesome.
it's the one potato I don't like.
I'm sad now. You know what's
I
good is
s
when you get a baked potato and you put melted cheese and bacon and sour cream and a bunch of stuff on top of it. Yummy.
I don't put melted cheese, I put shredded cheese.
Oh, I go like nacho cheese sauce if that's available.
Oh, that's awful. No.
No, melted cheese is always good.
Nacho cheese is just not my vibe.
I love it. Yummy nummy in my tummy tummy.
You can have all the nacho cheese. Anyway, Hey Ping Ping is smoking a cigarette that's longer than any of his fingers
Yeah.
because he's a small man. Anyway, the roadblock is being done by Katie, Jet, Jordan, and Louie. And Jet has the magical fingers, as they say, and he was able to get through this really quick. And his next clue said that they had to go make their way back to Shanghai to the fashion district.
Yes.
Um, do you want to explain what they had to do in the fashion district?
Yes. You go into a fashion house and you choose a model who will hand you a drawing of a specific design. Then you have to go find each of the correct pieces of clothing and accessories from the drawing and bring them back to the model to put them all on. And then the designer will give you your clue when you do it right.
Yeah. Um, and Jet and Cord tell us that they are in the fashion world, let me tell you.
Yeah.
They're really not. But back at the pasta, Brent and Katie are arguing. Uh, we see Jordan struggle pretty mightily. Dan had to calm him down. And my only thought was, hey, Ping Ping needs to go give Jordan a hug.
Aw, that'd be
But
sweet.
but he didn't. And in fact, he made fun of him. He started laughing at Jordan. Um, in Michael and Louie, we see them go after finishing the noodles and going to the fashion district. They literally walked right by the fashion house, walked all over the place looking for it, just to find out that the clue box was right in front of it.
Yeah.
We see Brent and Katie. They had advantages as being a model. Um, but once you finish with your fashion district task, you must make your way across town to Hongkou Stadium, where we will have a second roadblock, and the other contestant will be forced to do it that didn't do the roadblock with the noodles. So, do you want to explain the second roadblock, Bruce?
Yes. So, you're assembling this puzzle that has 96 pieces, and you're showing the puzzle pieces to this group of fans in the bleachers. And when it's assembled correctly, the puzzle, when flipped over, reveals the seat number where you find the next clue.
Yeah. By the way, you're definitely doing the noodles and I'm doing the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thought so. So that meant that Cord, Brent, Michael, and Dan were doing this challenge. Um, and the wind was blowing puzzle pieces all over the place.
Yeah.
Like they would be half done with the puzzle, and then they'd be back to get go pretty much. But back in the fashion district, Mike and Louie and Dan and Jordan's models were literally wearing each other's stockings. They just had to flip them, and then they were both good. And then everybody is at the football stadium where Jet and Cord were the first to get it. Their clue is in section 20, row 16, seat 33. And so they go there, get their clue that tells them to take the metro to the pit stop at Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. They
Yes.
become team number one and they win a trip to Alaska.
That looks fun.
Yeah. Brent and Katie, they were the second to finish this. Section 3, row 10, seat 26. It's where they get theirs. They check in as team number 2. We see that Mike is really struggling with this puzzle, and Dan was too, but not near as much as Mike. Dan finishes the puzzle. Mike still has like half of it left. So Dan got his, and it says section 8, row 2, section 5. But something I wanted to mention is that even as Dan and Jordan are leaving, Louie's giving them a high five. It really feels like now that Brandy and Carol are gone and the final four teams are Dan and Jordan, Michael and Louie, Jet and Cord, Brent and Kitty, everybody really does just love each other. And it makes for a pretty fun dynamic that I feel like we don't always get. We would most, well, normally we don't get. There's at least one team that has problems with each other.
Yeah,
So that's kind of nice.
I love it. I like when people get along.
Sometimes when they don't, it's some good TV though.
It was fun on 38, for example, when you had the like Izzy and Paige Jag and Jazz rivalry. But
Hmm.
this is really
For sure.
fun also.
For sure. All right, so Dan and Jordan check in as team number 3. And it's nighttime before Mike gets this puzzle built. Like it got dark enough that the lights in the stadium came on. And this is the point where I wanted to say why I could tell this was not an NEL because if, or why this was an NEL. Because if a team was going home here, there would have been a full elimination.
Ooh, interesting. That thought did not occur to me.
There was enough time in between when Dan and Jordan checked in to when Mike and Louie finished the puzzle. Phil would have went to the stadium and eliminated them there if he wasn't going to do this.
Yeah,
I feel pretty confident in that. So Mike and Louie, they finally got it. Section 17, row 17, seat 27. And this whole time, Louie's giving these confessionals about saying his goodbyes and how much fun he had and how disappointing it is that they're going home. Um, but they got team number 4, and Phil says, I'm gonna tell you that you're out in the cold." He flipped it around and said, "This is a non-elimination leg." And I kind of expected that as well because we have 2 episodes left, not one.
yeah,
Um, so I think I told you a week or two ago that we had to have, or a couple of, 1 or 2 episodes ago, that we would have to have an NEL sometime in there.
yeah. But what if like cool fake out by Mr. Phil? Love that.
For sure, and that's how we end this episode. But before it ends, we have this quick flash in memory of He Ping Ping.
Yes,
He Ping Ping is no longer with us, and that makes me sad.
it does.
He was a cute little man.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Ping Ping. He Ping Ping.
Well
All
said.
right, and next time on, it looks like Katie is going to be overstimulated, and it looks like Dan and Jordan are going to crash out on their cab driver.
Yeah,
As it seems to me that we're staying in Shanghai next week. So,
yeah, probably.
all right. So, do you have any more thoughts on the episode before we get into power rankings?
I do not.
All right, Bruce, power ranking time. Let's hear what you got. Number 4.
I love these guys. They've been really strong, but there was a lot of time between them finishing and the team ahead of them finishing. So they have a big time gap to make up, and they're going to have a speed bump, I assume. So Michael and Louis fall here, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't want them to go. I want Dan and Jordan to go. But
You Dan and Jordan haters now?
no, I just like Michael and Louis better. I
Fair
love
enough.
all four of these teams. If they can just all four race in the finale, that would be great. But that's
Like
not
season 25?
what
Like season 25?
I mean, sort of. But that like one of them got eliminated halfway through.
Fair. All right.
So
I
they
actually
only
did
half
put
ran
Dan and Jordan
definitely.
here.
What?
I actually did put Dan and Jordan here.
Interesting.
I know that Michael and Louis are facing a speed bump in this time disadvantage, but I feel like their overall body of work is still better. And um, I feel like there is a chance that they could make up some ground here.
Hopefully. I have Dan and Jordan at 3.
And I have Mike and Louis at three.
Like it's I don't know what else to say. Dan and Jordan, they keep being good enough to not go home, but they're not good enough to stand out to me as this great team.
I mean, they won last episode.
True, but just in general, like they're there.
Hmm. Who do you got at number two?
Brent and Katie.
Me as well.
Yeah, my power rankings are boring this week. They're the finishing order.
Yeah. And I know I had Brent and Katie number one last week, and I still think that there's an argument to be made there. But with Jen and Cord actually winning this leg and looking like an unstoppable force right now, I couldn't do anything but put Jen and Cord at one and Brent and Katie at two.
Yeah,
And so here we are, 2 weeks left in our rewatch of season 16. It's been really fun. It's been really good, and I've definitely enjoyed it. I hope you have, Bruce.
I have.
Good. Um, Excited. I don't know if we've actually talked about it on here in just about a month from yesterday. We will be um, rocking it out at a Survivor watch party in St. Louis, where we are going to be in the presence of two of the teams from season 37 of The Amazing Race,
Yes.
both Pops and Jeff and Scott and Lori.
Yes. Very excited.
Yes, it's going to be a great time. Looks like we're going to have a couple of Survivor alum in the house. It looks like we're going to have some Amazing Race alum in the house. Looks like we're going to have some Squid Game The Challenge alum in the house. You better get caught up or watch some Squid Game The Challenge in the next month, Bruce.
Yeah. And that's just the people on the poster. Like any of these we've been to, there's one person or so that'll show up that wasn't expected. So who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, I mean, I was just at BWP Nashville this last week. We had a question mark. I really thought it was going to be Q. It was Riz God.
Yeah.
Um, and then Sifu wasn't on the poster either, and he showed up.
Yeah, that one surprised me.
It
That's
didn't
awesome.
surprise me.
So,
It's still within a driving distance
yeah,
of his house.
fair
So,
enough.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be sharing with you guys our experiences with those people in the next month or so. Um, all of that to be said. Check out all of our Reality Realm coverage. Tribal Council Chat is rocking things out. Why are you doing the Riz face for?
Because I'm good at it.
No, you're not.
I've discovered this recently.
You're not good at it.
I like to think I am. It's called self-confidence.
It's called delusion. Still delusion. Um,
I don't know if I did. I used to have a picture somewhere of me doing that in my trader's cloak.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, Tribal Council Chat is thumbing away at
I didn't lose anyone off my team this week. Woohoo.
correct. Me
There's only
either.
there's only one team left that hasn't lost anyone yet, so I need him to lose someone quickly.
I think there's a good chance that happens next week. Um, at least an okay chance.
Yeah.
Um, but I think there's also yeah, there's a lot of things that could happen next week. Anyway, what I was saying was they're rocking away at Survivor 50, so make sure you're checking out their coverage over there. Roundtable Talk will be back in your ears soon enough as we are going to be doing our reality casting fan casts for Traders uh, next season. Also, whenever this summer, sometime probably the New Generation Challenge podcast will be back when 42 starts getting closer to being in the summer. You can check out BB Brains hopefully once again as well. I want to mention and remind you guys to follow all of our social media: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you get your coverage and do your social medias. We are there for you. Also, make sure to check out our Redbubble merch store, buy things with our faces on them. And with all of that being
Because
said,
who
good
doesn't want
luck.
me on their shower curtain?
Good luck. The world is waiting for you.
Travel safe.
Go.
Go.